Good morning, evening, afternoon. This is Masati here. Welcome to Masati on Sunday, where we explain the deeper meanings of life and then how you can transform and rise above them. So, what they did right, what they did wrong, and then move forward. So we don't repeat the same old patterns. Today, we are going to be talking about love beyond time. How past life relationships shape your present. But if you're listening to this, that means I am on a trip to Egypt. Now, some of you are coming with me frequency-wise. Uh, we're going to be doing hyper meditations there. But the reason why I'm doing that is I'm going back and starting to really understand the secrets, the mysticism of Egypt. You know, from what I've seen, crazy, crazy stuff, guys. What I've seen is that, you know, as new possibilities open up for us, what most people do, and you'll see this all around you, what most people do is they'll go back to the stuff, to the old garbage that didn't work before. So they become unstable because there's new possibilities, new concepts of self, new ways of, say, living life or creating new moments of time. And then what do people do? Humans have free choice, which is crazy. I always say free choice or free will is a bitch because we don't know what we're looking for. We don't know what we're seeking for. And this is where humanity and societies start to cycle downward instead of elevate like nature does. Again, like natural intelligence. So what I'm seeing is as we extend forward, the universe is telling, "Hey guys, come on, let's make new aspects happening, new concepts, new ideas of how humans could be. Let's do it. You've got a blank slate." And then what do people do? It's like, you know what? I'm unstable. I'm going to go backwards and do what, I don't know, my grandparents did, my father did, my mother did. And this is what you're seeing in today's society. People are holding on to their old religions. People are holding on to, say, methods of success. The government, as it breaks down, they hold on, they clench on to ideas and concepts of control, the cabal, and all those things. They go back to it. And this is, you'll start to see, and as I've predicted, and I've been about 99.99% right. You'll start to see that. The dark stuff that controls this reality, the deep state and so on like that. Holy shit, guys. They'll put their claws in, but as you can see, it's starting to fall apart. How about you though? Are you going back to your old things? Are you going back to old concepts? Are you going back to your old ideations of who you are? It's not going to work. Guys, look, it just simply hasn't worked. You've tried it. You've been like your parents. Your parents have been like their parents, and so on and so on. And look where society is. We still have the same old wars, the same reasons why we have all those wars. So what I'm doing is I'm going to go back to Egypt because a lot of people, and this is so crazy, right? Just like what I said, a lot of people are going, gosh, you know what? We need to go and unreveal what the Egyptians did or what ancient cultures did so we can resurrect what they did. But here's that nobody thinks of, and that's why Masati is me, Sadi, because I think of the things that most people don't think of, because I see it from a higher perspective, a different perspective. What most people don't think of is like, fuck, those cultures are gone. They're fucked up. What happened? They didn't survive. What the hell happened? So you're going to a methodology of a culture that might have had a fantastic time for a blip in time, and then they disappeared. So what does that say for the state of humanity, guys? That's why I'm going back there. You do not want to resurrect the past. This is like in the movies, in the movies where, they open up this ancient tomb, and if they open up this ancient tomb, all the curses and all those things start to show up, right? Like the Night at the Museum, and then the scarier movies that are out there. That should actually happen, son. So what are we doing? We literally, thousands of people are going back to Egypt, going back to China, going back to all India, going back to all those mystic places where those curses have been buried, and they're going, they're on their psychedelics. There's nothing wrong with that, but you want to do it right. And then they go, yeah, let's resurrect the past. Let's demonize us again. Crazy shit. So the demons and the distortions and the chaos that happened back then gets a new life. You are the new life. You get, say, possessed or controlled their ideologies, concepts, and literally possession. So you don't want to do that. Which brings me to my point here, what we're all here about. Love beyond time. How past life relationships shape your present. Again, how past life relationships shape your present. Okay? So many people, they find themselves in repeating relationship patterns. Have you done that? Comment in if you have. Whether it's attracting, the same type of partner, experiencing the same heartbreak, or feeling an unexplainable pull towards someone. Have you ever felt that? It's like, I don't know why. They certainly don't look attractive to me, but there's something about them, or they've been abusing me, in this relationship, but there's something about them. Maybe they're my life partner, or maybe whatever excuse, but there's like an attraction, right? Well, XI Metascience, in this show will help you reveal or unravel how past life connections may be at play, which keeps you in that stuck in a loop over and over again, coming full circle. You do not want to come full circle, no matter what you're doing. In this case, it's relationships. But what do we do? Are you going full circle? Are you as a individual, as a family, as a, say, mastermind, like a political group or a religious group or anything like that? Are you coming around full circle? Think of it. Nature, although you might think nature comes around full circle, it really doesn't. It comes around full circle, it's as it spirals. So yes, it starts at the same place, like, spring, full circle all the way around, but it doesn't repeat itself. It's not the same old spring. New ideas, new concepts of possibilities on how to enlighten itself. And that's why nature always feels enlightened. When you go to nature, it's like a euphoric experience. You become enlightened because that's what happens. It doesn't drag the old past. It doesn't cycle through the patterns of the old. It's not a full circle here. It's like a spiral, right? So you learn from those moments. You might repeat the same actions here, but the difference is you are at a different consciousness level. Humans, unfortunately, go around full circle. So again, the question is, are you evolving beyond these cycles? Or are you unknowingly repeating the past? So we're going to dive right in, and we will. As a note, by the way, private Oracle Circle coming up in Sedona, and then also Guardians. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's something like that. It's going to be really a fun event, guys. If you're into aliens, ancient knowledge, and all that, it's just a fun, say, party type event that I got invited to. I am the main speaker there, so we're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun. So if you're into all that and you want to have a great time with exponentially intelligent people, you want to check that out as well. It's on the website, and maybe the team can put it on. All right, we've got 3 talking points here. Are you reliving the same love story? Love or energy drain? How karmic ties influence your present, and then beyond karmic love, mastering high XIQ relationships. Okay. All right, so let's jump in. Take a breath in. We will make it an experiential show where you actually feel the frequencies, where you actually feel the vibes. It's not just like up here, like a lot of times, self-improvement and, all those things that you do, even teachings, religious teachings, scripture teaching, you just like, it sits up here. It doesn't change your frequency. XI is so powerful that just even listening to this, many of you get those benefits. And that's why many of you come over and over again live, right? So I encourage you, those listening, do it live. For once, it's really amazing. It's actually a different feeling than the recording. So subscribe and like this channel. All right, take a breath in. Just take a breath in. Notice your eyes, okay? As you close them, or you can keep them open. It doesn't really matter. But whenever you're ready, whether it's now or just a few seconds from now, you just want to close them. Take a breath in and just go back into time. Go back into a moment or moments or experiences on how you see your relationships, not just love relationships, but parental patterns. How are you treated by your parents, your family, your group? And then as you get older, getting into love relationships. It could be friend type relationships, and then into love relationships, intimate relationships. All right. Just notice that pattern. Again, it's everything is everything is a cycle. Everything is algorithms. Everything is again patterns. We're not just like one experience. Many of us get stuck, and this is where we repeat relationship patterns, whether they stem from past life connections or physical life connections. So we're going to get into both aspects. Breathe deep. The one big reason, the one big, yeah, the one big reason that people get stuck in their story, in the same love story, okay? Whether it is like past life, it stems from past life, or present life situations, is because they don't they don't start to recognize patterns. The reason why AI is so fucking intelligent is because it recognizes the patterns underneath the words that we use. It doesn't care about the words. It doesn't know the meaning of the words as humans do, but it puts patterns together and then it excels and exceeds how humans even use those words. Kind of crazy, right? And that's what XI metascience is about, recognizing patterns through spatial referencing, right? Through referencing how you see your life. So take a breath in, notice your eyes and then your throat area and the neck, and then the back of your spine around your hips. So whether you're standing or sitting or just walking around as you listen to me, it's all good, but just notice those areas, whatever that you're doing. So what happens is as you start to observe from your life patterns of relationships, you start to see a pattern. Whether it's how you're raised, your friendship relationships, your family relationships, your close intimate circle, and then extrapolate that into your love relationship. Okay. Do you start to see the patterns? All right. Most people, again, they'll go, this person hurt me, or I hurt this person, and that's it. They didn't see, because this is how you reference, right? You can't like have one experience and then go, oh, I learned a lot. Although you could, if you had a high XIQ, but most people don't. So they go, I'm going to find another person over here because I'm fine. But if you start to look at the patterns, the common denominator of all those relationships are you. All right. So we'll go deeper yet. All right. Look at your parents' relationships. Look at their intimate aspects. Look at how how they're treated or treat their friends, their family members, and then if you have deeper relationships, grandma, grandpa, great grandmother, and so on like that. Look at those patterns. Look at how they run their life. Do you see patterns in it? Again, crazy stuff, right? It's like, oh, many of you are going, oh, whoa. I can't believe I just turned into my grandma. And with XI, you go so deep, you start to see the patterns that you're resonating at a cellular level. This is like, oh shit, I got the same diseases as grandma did or my mom did. It's like, I'm repeating that cycle. It's a pattern, guys. It's not you. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. Once you start to see that, look at all the past patterns that have come about from previous relationships. From not now, there's two versions of this. Okay, and this is where we start to again repeat all these patterns. One aspect is family lineage, right? Your hereditary patterns. That's a component or that's an ingredient that's in you. The other aspect is say past life relationship, past lives, okay, and the relationships that you've had in past lives. A lot of crazy stuff happens. Some of us don't remember, but the effects of your past lives, whether you believe it or not, the effects of your past life does affect. So this is where people go, God, I feel like I know this person at some level. Okay. Now, some of you, it is a past life experience, by the way. Okay. You've gotten entangled together. Now, some of you, if you're repeating, say, grandma's pattern or your aunt or your uncle's patterns, right? You look like your aunt or uncle and so on like that. And watch out, okay? Or a great aunt, uncle. So when you look like somebody, or a lot of times when you're named like somebody, like Theodore the Third and all that, most likely you implemented or contracted their patterns as well, including relationship patterns. So although you might have not, say, felt, say, this relationship from a previous lifetime, it's like, oh, it feels familiar to you because you adopted, say, your uncle's pattern, and you're running your uncle's, genetics, and they might have had something similar. Okay. This is where a lot of crazy stuff happens in families if you're repeating cycles like that. This is where, crazy ass murders happen. This is where, addictions, abuse patterns, all those sexual traumas in families and so on. It's because of that cycle. Okay. You want to release that. It doesn't mean just because you're running a pattern doesn't mean that you keep running the pattern. Okay. All right, so take a breath in again. So you've got repeating relationship patterns, right? Not just yours, previous lifetimes. Oh, here's another aspect too. Generational patterns. Have you ever noticed like the baby boomers, Generation X, and all those patterns? They all kind of feel, or they all have the same mindset. They all come to the same conclusion, right? That's a pattern. It's not just random stance. We all are in, say, a certain mindset. Well, again, XI teaches us to be an observer when you're in that in that mastermind. So we've got previous lifetimes. We have, and some of you go, "Well, I don't believe in previous lifetimes because my religion says so." Like, all right, believe what you want, but it still affects you. Like, I don't believe in, I don't believe in gravity. Okay, great. Gravity still works on you. It's just the cycles of the universe, guys. Simple as that. All right. Anyway, back to what we're saying. So you've got relationships, past life, your past lives. You've got familial genetics, hereditary patterns. You've got generational patterns, okay, that are in the ingredients of you, and then you've got societal patterns. Okay, what's happening today in society? So all those things are ingredients of you. Once they become the ingredients of you, you think that it's you. It's your story. So it could have happened to your great grandma, but again, if you inherited her gene pool, it's like, did that happen to me? How many people get that? Right? Or you go walk into a building, especially in Europe, they've got 1,000-year-old buildings. It's like, gosh, feels like, I was part of it. Feels familiar. Yeah, you probably were, or it could be one of the other aspects of you in those ingredients. Because once again, with those ingredients, they're in the mixture, they become you. It becomes your memories, your concept of who you are. So take a breath in. This is where unresolved emotions. So you get pulled towards somebody. And in the past, for example, your traumatic experiences, right? Why do I always, some of you, again, why do you always attract severe relationships? And I call it severe because it could be, extremely euphoric for a short period of time, and then it just gets abusive or distorted, or it starts out abusive and it gets more extreme on that. Again, extreme relationships. Okay? The reason why is because you're stuck in time moments of how what I said of those four ingredients. Breath in, and then again you think it's yours, and this is where you start to fall in love. The craziest thing. All right. So this woman comes up. She's had a couple sessions. She's feeling really good about herself. She got her shit together, right? And and now she's breaking patterns. Okay, and this is why I'm telling you all of this story, guys, because a lot of you get your act together, okay, and you start to break your patterns, but I help you break your patterns, but because of free will, I can't just force you into that. I can only go, hey, if you run this pattern, this is the way your life is going to be. And then people go, yeah, I like it. It's like, okay, if you like it, then you have to do something physical, not just go, oh yeah, I like this pattern, and then you don't change, right? It doesn't work that way. It's your frequency. So take a breath in again. So how many of you have like cleaned up and then you repeated the same pattern? So in this case, this woman comes up to me. She cleaned up. She totally sees her, relationship patterns. Horrendous. She got beat up. She literally got picked up and thrown against the wall. That's how crazy it was, right? Crazy, crazy shit, right? So she cleans up, and then we go back. So she cleaned up her physical identity, her life experiences here, right? And she cleaned up her parents' experiences here. And then, the deeper, yeah. Okay. So before I get too ahead, so she cleaned up a couple layers of generational patterns, life patterns, and so on like that. All right. So what happens is that you come to a fork in the road. And this is where you confirm your deletions. You come to a fork in the road, and she's like, Moss, this guy came back. It was an old lover of mine, and I feel we have a deep connection. I know he's my soulmate. And I'm reading this guy, and I go, whoa, like soulmate. What? It's like in a penitentiary where you in jail together and he kept abusing you. It was like that. Literally, it felt like that. Reading the person, and it's like, and I'm looking at him, and it's like, okay, so this guy, he beat you up, right? The last time you were together with him, he beat you up, he mistreated you, he cheated on you, he lied on you, and all these other negatives of to watch out for. And it's like, and she goes, yes, yes, and then it clicked on her. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to delete that pattern. It's like, yes, honey, you're supposed to delete that pattern, right? How many of you have gone through the cycle? You've cleaned yourself up. You didn't confirm your deletions again, and then you go, "Oh, XI didn't work for me. I'm still in the same pattern." No, it's like XI showed you the pattern. You were quite aware of it, but you didn't delete the pattern. You didn't confirm your deletions. This is where we cycle back. So this is like this lady, as soon as she understood her pattern, it's like, what the fuck? Why am I going to this guy? No more. It just like ended. So once you end these patterns, these karmic cycles, karmic moments, karmic love cycles. I don't know what else the spiritual community or people call that, whatever that stuff is. Karma, past lives, past loves. Um, what is it? Twin flames. Yeah, twin flames. All those things. It's like it's just patterns. It's just patterns. It doesn't mean shit, guys. There's no spiritual value to it. The only spiritual value is that, hey, you got beat up the last time. If you keep running the pattern, you'll get beat up again. That's the spiritual message. If you need a message or a sign, that's your sign. Okay? If it feels like the old stuff, it'll probably treat you like the old patterns. So don't do it. Stop. Get exponentially intelligent. All right. So XI Metascience, again, helps you identify these revolving patterns so you can evolve. As you become, the biggest key, guys, is spatial referencing. Now, simple spatial referencing, those who are new, spatial referencing is you start to, associate yourself or compare yourself, reference yourself to, say, the physicalness of this reality. Like the couch is over there, I'm over here. The tip of my nose is over here. Sounds kind of crazy, but just try it. Even if you're new, just try it a couple times, right? The mirror is over there. The tip of my nose is here. The window's over to my right. My left shoulder is here. It'll put you in time and you'll start to bypass the mental state. This brain right here, and this is why we get into those karmic ties that influence you, is the brain is a processor, simple processor, not a creator. It's a processor of what you put into it. the 4 ingredients that I talked about, that's what you put into it. Okay. Again, it's not something the only thing you need to learn about the past, okay, of your journey is what ingredients did you use to create yourself. Simple as that. All right. So take a deep breath in. Love or energy drain? How your karmic ties influence your present. Kind of talked about that, but we just want to go through the talk points here just to make it clear for you. Breathe deep. All right. Are your eyes opening? Are you starting to see the patterns? Some of you might even go, oh shit, if your past lives are open, you get, dreams of past lives and so on. Some of you go, oh shit, same thing happened back then too. Yeah. You didn't like it back then. Don't repeat it. Things aren't written in stone, guys. Your life is not written in stone. You always have many possibilities. If it was written in stone, which again goes all the traditions and religions. If your life was written in stone, you would need to live here. You would need to be alive. Because it's like, well, shit. It's like why experience something that's already written? You're here to create new moments of time, just like nature creates new moments of time. Again, so your life is not written in stone. As you elevate your XIQ, you start to understand. It's like, oh shit, I see that pattern there. I want to go over here. That's all you got to do. The past life relationships, again, can create unseen energetic contracts, like I talked about. So write down some of the patterns that you don't like or you like about your, say, love relationship in this case, especially because it's, Valentine's Day, just a couple days ago. Think about it. Write it down. Write down the love, what you like, what you don't like in relationships. This is your homework. If you really want to, attract or expand the love that you have, not just for other people, but for you, that connection to your intimate self, which is the most precious relationship of all. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. Okay. All right. So past life relationships can create unseen energetic contracts. Write down, be an observer. Okay? Write down your likes and dislikes in your relationship. Okay? And then what did the other person do to you, basically? Okay. All right. Take a breath in, and that other person could be a love, a spouse. It's kind of interesting that I say it's a love or a spouse because most people's spouses aren't their love or their lovers. I hate to say that, but anyway, it's contractual. Anyway, your family dynamics and so on like that. We'll get into that topic maybe on on another Moss on Sunday, where I'll invite Feifei, my love, into it, and we can talk about the deeper meanings of that. Alrighty. All right. So what do they do to you? Okay. And then on the right next to that column, ask yourself on the top header, what what patterns, known or unknown to me, do I have? Am I resonating with? What frequency am I resonating with? Because it's like magnets, right? It's all receptors. Think of your cell receptors. Right? They only connect to a certain, say, chemical. Right? That's how you are. You, say, created a certain receptor of yourself, and then you'll only connect to a certain, say, type of, say, relationship, no matter what level it is. So on the next column, okay, it's like what patterns, what frequencies are you resonating, known or unknown to you? And just leave it known or unknown, and things will come out of your head. And you go, oh shit. And just write it down next to what you don't like about what you don't like or what you like on what other people did to you. And you'll go, oh, I see it. And then you'll start to see the patterns and then extrapolate that to all your relationships. Okay. This is how you get rid of past life relationships with unseen energetic contracts. Just because you have a contract, guys, it's your life. It's your destiny. If you don't like the contract, you can break it. If you don't know how, again, easiest way is get exponentially intelligent. Raise your elevate your XIQ by doing some of the hyper meditations. We've got some great packages like 13 ways What is that? 13. Oh, that page not here. But anyway, 13 ways to define your love, something like that. I did it a while back. Really, really powerful. It'll help you unclutter all those things. Okay, and hopefully the team can just put a package out there for you, so you can take a click on the link and get into the details and really start to uh, fine tune your love for 2025. Okay, karmic bonds may manifest as intense connections or lingering conflicts, like I talked about. Right, you have this intense desire for somebody, but then they mistreat you. Think of it. Okay? And you don't know what's going on, but you have this intense passion towards somebody. Don't trust your emotions. You know, your grandma or whoever, there's a book written about, oh, follow your heart, do this, follow your emotions. That's bullshit. Okay. I'm not saying don't do that, but don't do that. Analyze where your emotions have got you in the past. Okay. That's your second piece of homework. Analyze where your emotions have got you in the past. Oh, my heart fluttered for this guy, you know, and you might attribute, oh, he had the most beautiful eyes. Doesn't matter. Okay? That's just a physical attraction. The underlying attraction is why you're attracted to their physicalness. Have you ever wondered sometimes, it's like, shit, they're not really that attractive, but why am I so connected to them? Do they turn me on? Because of past bonds. Simple as that. So what I'm telling you is don't trust your emotions. Start to observe, to write down in your journal or video journal, even better. Write down. It's like, hey, look at your past love. It's like I fell in love with this guy and then he beat me up. Great. Okay. So what was the emotions that attracted you to somebody that would do that to you? And by the way, if you're running a business, creating money, because that's very intimate, you'll get the same patterns on that money side as well. Okay. So love or money, again, in this society, in this reality, it's kind of entangled. So write down your emotions. What emotions? Oh, I felt my heart flutter. I felt went blush. I couldn't keep them out of my mind. Right. Once I saw them, it's like, I had to have them. Those kind of patterns. Okay. Was it actual emotions for your best intent, or was those emotions henchmen for the programs that you were running in the past? Again, start to observe, start to see the patterns, write it down. And then once you do that, you'll go, shit, my emotions need to be recalibrated. And then once you recalibrate your emotions, your intuition, your guidance, your heart, whatever you want to say, however you want to say it, once you recalibrate it, then you can trust your emotions. Okay. It's like shooting at something with a gun or bow. I don't know if you guys go hunting. Well, I don't hunt, but I shoot. But your sights are off. You're not going to hit the target. Simple as that. Emotions, you have to, again, align your sights to what you want. All right. All right. Take a breath in. I see a lot of things cleaning up. Even if this is a recording, it's like, how can you see that? Well, in my realm, there's no where I go in to help you all. There's no future. There's no past. There's no present. It's just possibilities that is. So if you're listening to this, whether on a recording or live, obviously this is a recording for you anyway. If you're listening to this, literally, I'm opening up possibilities for you as we're speaking, so you can see things differently. Pretty cool, huh? It's amazing. There's a lot of science. In fact, quantum mechanics, quantum science, quantum computing is literally realms of possibilities, mapping out the multidimensional realm. All right, beyond karmic love, mastering high-XIQ relationships. That's what you want. I gave you some of the concepts on how to do it. Conscious love. We'll go deeper into it. Conscious love is built on self-mastery and energetic clarity. Okay, so no matter what relationship that you want or desire to fulfill you, your sole purpose is literally conscious love. Okay, so what that means is self-mastery, energetic clarity. So I'll give you the science behind that. Okay, so your spirit self, okay, your light, your energy, your potential. If you're a scientist or atheist or you don't believe in, the spiritual side, right? Your potential of who you are is out here, right? Um, your physical, your physical concept of self is here. All right. Okay. So this physical concept is very limited. It's dictated by, again, genetic patterns, past history, all those things that I talked about. All right. There's a lot of filters in between. Hence, you render yourself from the potential. So you've got your potential, you've got all history, right? Genetic history and everything that I talked about, and then you got your physical self. Okay. No matter what relationship it is, no matter what the hell you're doing here in this reality, making love, making war, doing whatever, at a personal level and at a societal level, you're trying to clean all the stuff in between so you can see your potential. Many people see through their limitations. They see their potential. They don't know how to access it. They create more limitations for themselves. This is where we again recreate from the past. You don't want to do that. You want to keep eliminating all these things in between so you get closer and closer. When you get closer and closer, what happens? Take a breath in. What happens is like, oh, I feel so much love within me. And if you're exuding love like that, what happens? It's quite amazing, but you get to say connect. You get to connect. You get to attract the love that you want. Take a deep breath in. Let's see if I can help you feel or experience what that feels like. Breathe deep. One of the best ways to release all that, start to increase your XIQ, your exponential intelligence quotient. You start to become aware. You start to become an observer of you and what's not you. You start to separate all the distortions. You create a newer version of yourself each and every moment. And as you do, you shed away those distortions. This is where love, intimacy, you get intimate with somebody, right? Um, you become vulnerable. Vulnerability in this reality doesn't work out. You get connected with somebody where you feel so safe that you can, it's not like exposing all your weaknesses and go, yeah, these are my weaknesses, love me for who I am. That's not becoming vulnerable. It's just becoming stupid. Take a deep breath in. What you do is like you find a strong, iconic individual. And as you raise your XIQ, you start to attract those people, like Faye and I did, right? Uh, you become vulnerable with this person. They hold this physical space here. As they hold a physical space here, you become vulnerable. You and the love look at the vulnerability and you go, gosh, you know what? On our new journey together, I don't need to bring all this baggage. Let's leave it behind so you and I can have a fresh life and go forward without our baggage. But people do that wrong as well. It's like, hey, you know what? I love you so much. I'm gonna, spill all my guts, and then I want you to love the bullshit that I'm not. And then down the line, it's like it either scares that hell out of that person, or down the line, it's like it doesn't help. It doesn't work out, right? So that's true vulnerability. When you have a high XIQ relationship, you become vulnerable. It's like, yeah, that's what happened in the past. I understood the patterns on how I got there from the past. I'm going to leave it behind and move forward into new possibilities. This is where each one of you, as you go through time, like Bay and I, each moment is newer for us because each one of us helps each other delete patterns of the past so we see each other from a newer and newer and newer and newer version. This is where you start to see. Have you ever seen those people? They're 80 years old, they're still holding hands, and they feel like little kids. That's what they did. They cleaned up all their bullshit and they went back and reinvented themselves as little kids. And they're just sitting in the park or wherever, and they don't need all this extravagant stuff. They're just sitting, holding hands, and just smiling, right? And then when you do whatever that you do, it's even more fun. All right. So self-love becomes the foundation. As a note, you want to write this down. Somebody write it down on the comments. Self-love becomes the foundation for attracting evolved high resonance relationships. Self-love becomes the foundation for attracting uh, evolved high resonance relationships. Guys, it's time to release the past, step into a new era of consciousness, conscious love, not just for you, but for you, your loved ones, your kids, your grandkids, who, whatever, society as a whole, humanity as a whole. Right? So hope you all had a fantastic Valentine's Day, or maybe you didn't. Either way, learn from it, get better from it, and create new moments of time. And that's where love just lingers in the air, when there's new moments of time that you're experiencing your love through. It never gets old. All right, guys. As we end, notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you notice. Peace.